The annals of history are filled with tales of empires that once dominated the world stage, only to meet their demise in spectacular fashion. From the grandeur of Rome to the might of the Mongols, these fallen giants serve as potent reminders of the impermanence of power. But amidst their colossal failures, there are invaluable lessons waiting to be unearthed. Their biggest mistakes, if understood, can guide us toward building a better future. So join us as we embark on a journey back in time. We'll dissect the missteps that led to their downfall and uncover the timeless wisdom that can help us navigate the complexities of our modern world. Kicking off our journey is the Roman Empire, an ancient powerhouse that left an indelible mark on Western civilization. At its zenith, the Roman Empire stretched from Britain to North Africa, encompassing vast territories and diverse populations under its rule. Its influence on law, language, architecture, and culture is still felt today. However, despite its seemingly invincible nature, Rome eventually crumbled, giving way to centuries of upheaval known as the Middle Ages. So what were the biggest mistakes that led to the downfall of this majestic empire? A primary factor contributing to Rome's decline was a series of poor leaders, often referred to as the Five Good Emperors, which began after the reign of Augustus, who successfully transformed Rome from a republic to an empire and ushered in a period of unprecedented peace and prosperity. Augustus's successors struggled to match his acumen, leading to a gradual erosion of Rome's foundations. Take, for instance, Caligula, known for his debauchery and extravagance, whose reckless spending drained the imperial treasury. Nero, infamous for his tyrannical rule and sadistic tendencies, turned the empire against him. Leading to widespread revolts, Rome burned during his reign, further weakening the empire's stability. Commodus, the last of the Julio-Claudians, was inept and uninterested in governance, preferring instead to indulge in gladiatorial combat in the Colosseum. This series of ineffective leaders not only squandered the empire's resources, but also demoralized the population, setting the stage for Rome's eventual collapse. Adding fuel to this fire was the rampant corruption that permeated various levels of Roman society. As power shifted from one dynasty to another, personal gain and self-preservation took precedence over public service. Senators, once esteemed figures of the Roman state, became embroiled in bribery, extortion, and factional infighting. This toxic environment of corruption not only hindered effective governance, but also alienated the populace, creating a breeding ground for discontent that would later erupt into full-blown revolts. The magnitude of Rome's military, once its proudest achievement, also played a part in its downfall. At its peak, the Roman legions were considered the most formidable fighting force in the known world. But as the empire expanded, so did the burden on its military. Maintaining control over such vast and diverse territories required a significant standing army. This not only placed a tremendous financial strain on the empire, but also contributed to a sense of militarization. Rome's growing preoccupation with defense rather than offense led to stagnation and vulnerability to external threats. Moreover, the increasing reliance on auxiliary troops from conquered territories, while a pragmatic necessity, diluted the Roman military's core identity, further weakening its effectiveness. Another significant contributor to Rome's decline was the decay of traditional values and institutions. As the empire grew wealthier, societal norms shifted, with conspicuous displays of wealth and luxury becoming commonplace. The gap between the opulent elite and the struggling populace widened, fostering envy and resentment. Simultaneously, traditional Roman values, including civic duty, self-discipline, and stoicism, gave way to a culture of decadence and excess. This moral decline not only eroded the social fabric of Roman society, but also diminished the virtues that had been instrumental to Rome's rise to greatness, laying the groundwork for its eventual fall. The Roman Empire serves as a stark reminder that no civilization, no matter how mighty, is impervious to decline. Its story offers invaluable lessons in leadership, governance, and the preservation of cultural values. Understanding Rome's missteps can help us chart a better course for our own societies, emphasizing the need for prudent leadership, equitable distribution of wealth, and the importance of upholding ethical standards in the face of adversity. Shifting our gaze to the vast plains of Mongolia, we encounter the Mongol Empire, a behemoth that united nomadic tribes under the banner of Genghis Khan, establishing one of the largest contiguous land empires in history. At its peak, the Mongol domain stretched from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe, encompassing a multitude of cultures and a staggering number of people. Yet despite their martial prowess and remarkable feats of conquest, the Mongols too succumbed to the inevitable march of decline. So what were the major mistakes that undermined the very foundations of this seemingly invincible empire? Overextension was the most fatal mistake of the Mongols. While their early conquests brought about remarkable successes, the sheer vastness of their dominion eventually became its undoing. Managing such an expansive empire proved to be a logistical nightmare. Effective governance across such diverse lands, each with their unique customs and languages, was a daunting challenge. Consequently, maintaining law and order, collecting taxes, and ensuring the smooth functioning of the empire became increasingly difficult, straining the administrative capabilities of the Mongol bureaucracy. Another pivotal mistake lay in the Mongol practice of incorporating conquered populations into their ranks. While this strategy initially bolstered their military strength, it also sowed the seeds of disloyalty. Many incorporated soldiers viewed their service to the Mongol warlords as a means to personal gain rather than an expression of genuine loyalty. This shift in allegiance led to instances of mutiny and, in some cases, open rebellion, destabilizing the empire from within. A further setback stemmed from the Mongol-esque policy of complete destruction of their enemies, cities, and infrastructure. This scorched earth approach not only resulted in immense loss of life and suffering, but also deprived the empire of valuable human resources. By decimating the very populations they sought to rule, the Mongols hindered their own efforts at effective resource mobilization, ultimately weakening their long-term prospects for stability and growth. Economic disparity was another crucial factor in the Mongol Empire's downfall. While the Mongol rulers implemented policies to promote trade and economic growth, the benefits were not evenly distributed. The wealth generated by the empire's extensive trade networks primarily accrued to the ruling class, leaving many subjects in a state of poverty. This stark contrast in wealth led to social unrest and resentment, providing fertile ground for discontent and rebellion to flourish. The Mongol Empire's legacy is a testament to the power of unity, discipline, and adaptability. Yet their missteps serve as a cautionary tale of the perils of overextension, disloyalty, and inequality. Learning from their mistakes, we can strive to build more inclusive and sustainable empires of our own, ensuring that the mistakes of the past do not repeat themselves in our own time. Our journey through the ages brings us to the magnificent Aztec Empire, a civilization nestled in the heart of what is today Mexico. Flourishing in the 14th and 15th centuries, the Aztec domain was a tapestry of diverse cultures united under the banner of the Mexica, whose capital, Tenochtitlan, was a marvel of urban planning and architectural brilliance. Despite their impressive achievements, the Aztec Empire eventually succumbed to a series of critical errors that paved the way for its demise. So what were the pivotal mistakes that led to the downfall of this seemingly invincible civilization? One of the most significant mistakes of the Aztec Empire was its over-reliance on tribute and conquest for economic sustenance. Unlike many other civilizations, the Aztecs did not rely on agriculture or trade as their primary sources of wealth. Instead, they built their economy on the spoils of war, demanding tribute from subjugated peoples in the form of goods, services, and human sacrifices. This aggressive expansionist policy not only bred resentment among neighboring tribes, but also diverted precious resources towards military endeavors, rather than infrastructure or social welfare. Another critical error lay in the Aztecs' rigid socio-economic structure. Their society was divided into three rigid classes: the nobility, the commoners, and the slaves. There was little room for social mobility, and the rigid hierarchy stifled innovation and initiative. This lack of fluidity meant that talented individuals from lower classes could not ascend to positions where they could contribute to the empire's development, limiting the empire's overall potential. Environmental degradation was also a significant factor in the Aztecs' downfall. Their intensive agricultural practices, coupled with a rapidly growing population, led to soil erosion and deforestation. The overextraction of natural resources not only hampered the empire's long-term sustainability, but also made it more vulnerable to external shocks, such as climate change or disease. The final, and perhaps most consequential mistake of the Aztecs was their encounter with the Spanish conquistadors. While the Aztecs were formidable warriors, they were ill-prepared for the conquistadors, equipped with advanced weaponry and driven by a lust for gold. Furthermore, the conquistadors' superior use of horses and firearms gave them a decisive edge in battle. The Aztecs' downfall was hastened by internal strife, disease brought by the Europeans, and their inability to unite against a common enemy. Marking a tragic end to one of the America's most brilliant civilizations, the Aztec Empire stands as a monumental achievement in pre-Columbian America, renowned for its cultural richness and urban sophistication. Yet its missteps serve as a stark reminder of the importance of balanced resource management, inclusive governance, and sustainable practices. As we contemplate the Aztec legacy, we must heed their mistakes, ensuring that we do not repeat their missteps in our own pursuits of power and progress. In the tapestry of human history, countless empires have risen and fallen, each leaving behind a legacy of triumphs and failures. The Roman, Mongol, and Aztec empires stand out not just for their achievements, but also for the critical mistakes that led to their demise. Their stories offer us a mirror, reflecting the pitfalls that await even the mightiest of civilizations, from poor leadership to overextension, rigid social structures, and environmental degradation. These empires fell victim to challenges that, while unique to their time and place, also resonate with universal truths. Each of their missteps serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragility of power and the importance of learning from the past. The lessons embedded in their failures are not confined to history books. They are timeless guides for our present and future. In an era where new empires, both political and corporate, are constantly pushing the boundaries of expansion and influence, the mistakes of the past serve as beacons, urging us to proceed with wisdom and foresight. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. If this video has sparked your interest and inspired your own exploration of history, don't forget to hit the like button. Your support means the world to us. Stay tuned for more captivating historical journeys.